This is page 18 of the book on space mission, okay? The universe can be viewed, mapped, that's supposed to be mapped, that word, mapped differently from here as it will appear from everywhere else in the cosmos. So if you know your astronomy map from everywhere, that is every place correctly, in the cosmos universe properly, or like the computer or book knows, okay, all you got to do if you are lost in space is equals, with the telescope on the shuttle, you look everywhere. For example, if you're lost somewhere in space, somewhere in the universe, you don't know where our galaxy is, for example, okay, the shuttle telescope must be able to see close, medium, far, or to the end of the universe, everywhere that is, it's got to be able to see, okay? Or at least at the distance that you're in, relating to how far our galaxy is. If you can spot our galaxy, this is what you do, so on. You then view each galaxy, pictures, diagram. Say you're lost, you're viewing this through the computer or through your through the telescope if you know your astronomy correctly, and check it as it in your computer and book. Then navigate to where you are and, you know, fix it up the computer, whatever, or manually, whatever. Head to the appropriate galaxy, place, so on. Once you are in that galaxy, in other words, our galaxy, view the planets that has to be recognized for all from all angles. Okay, so as the place you are in, you then head for it. So if you want to go to planet Earth, you then head for planet Earth. You do this by, for instance, you can, if you know the shape of the galaxy, okay, for example, the shape of the galaxy by recognition rather than signs. There's no signs up there other than recognitions, okay? No one's put street signs up there, okay? Or by computers, so as each planet in each galaxy and how many suns are there, so on, and the distance between planets like galaxies, planets, so on. You measure it by your equipment, okay? You then head straight for the sun, but not in a way of crashing into the sun, okay? You've got to slow down eventually. In that galaxy or sun, and make sure you slow down before you collide with the sun, a fair bit of distance away, okay, from it, not colliding with the planet. So you put the brakes on way before, okay, not to get too close where it's hot, okay. Then head straight for that planet equals like you head for fast to the galaxy using the sun to see it. So where there is darkness, a sun cannot be spotted because there's no sun there. If you see light there, like if you see a galaxy shining, that means there's a sun there. So you head for that galaxy, the shape of your astronomy. If you want to go to other galaxies, according to the shape, you can head straight from that. You can do it by computer and program it or whatever. So the way the sun looks like, let's stop just outside the galaxy at the proper distance. You got another distance. You then drive into it, to the planet, much slower, so you do not crash. Since in the sky, the galaxy shine, there must be sun or suns present in those galaxies, because nothing can be seen in pitch darkness. Therefore, seeing the galaxies tell me there are suns or sun present. Therefore, proving if so, the sun is responsible to preserve life. Therefore, you will find life in galaxies as long as you travel in their proper dimension. Okay? Since our galaxy is a galaxy, so as others. God does not make galaxies for it to have no life. Otherwise, he'll make something else, not a galaxy. Okay, but doesn't necessarily mean we'll find it in our dimension unless God has already created it there in our dimension or whatever. Continuing in page 19. So then, if you see in Mars, now that you have landed, no life equals who says that you are there at the right time, like time and space, when life was there in the past, for example, or will be in the future. So you might have to travel in the right space and time as well, the right dimension and twilight zone, whatever, okay, to find life there. If you go to one of the planets or one of the galaxies, it could be in our dimension. If not, it would be in other dimensions, other twilight zones, and especially in different time periods. Probably a combination of all. So who says you are in the correct dimension, twilight zone also, so on, okay? Because if you find life there, it does not mean there is none. Sorry. If you find no life there, it does not mean there is none there. It can mean you are in a different dimension, twilight zone, life, so on, as that of ours, our one, that is our dimension now, planet Earth, but you're traveling outside it in another galaxy or planet or whatever, which has life here, but not necessary on other planets or galaxies. So as in our galaxy, in our dimension, twilight zones equals, but in theirs, yes, there is, I've been there, okay? So I won't stress the point more here, I think you get the point, except what we're going to read equals, meaning of if they aliens come here or on our Earth in another dimension, that is in their dimension or another dimension, okay, twilight zone or whatever, time and space also, they will not find life here also, unless there's in another dimension here, okay? But not if they travel and come here on Earth in our dimension. So from their dimension, they have to enter into ours. Or it's a dimension here other than ours if there's another life here in another dimension. Or twilight zones, for example. Time and space, so on. Because we all know life exists here. Jesus Christ says, my Father always works. The command says he finished his work in the sixth day, on the seventh rested. Yes, thus, he finished on places rested then, like for example in the book of Genesis when he was recorded in that world. And he finished everywhere else in that dimension. Doesn't necessarily mean he's finished everywhere else in other dimensions or in other places. This is the only way how it adds, because this way it does not contradict. So what I'm saying is that the commands of God says that he finishes work in 6 days, on the 7th day rested. That's in the dimension spoken about in the book of Genesis. That was a different heaven than here. It clearly states that Adam and Eve were kicked out and we ended up in this planet. It does say that in the book of Genesis. Okay. Previously, before all this, we were here before being prehistorical man. The Bible confirms that. Because the end of the age comes in prehistorical time concerning the evidence of those in this type of research. And the Bible records that now we're becoming the image of God in his likeness. From apes to the intelligence and image of God. We are no longer apes, in other words, we are the image of man, of God, sorry. So then we get kicked out of there because of the sin, and back in here, finding our remains. So the prehistoric time is a different dimension. The remains are there in this dimension, left behind, concerning what happened back then to our ancestors and ourselves when we were once there. We travel from one place to another. Okay. So this is the only way how he adds, because there's this way he does not contradict. So then, the 6 days that he worked in the book of Genesis and rested on the 7th is talking about the period of time, in time and space, or whatever, recorded in the book of Genesis at that particular point in time. When Jesus says, my Father always working, he's talking about in different places, and after life was created there, that it was created elsewhere as well. So it doesn't contradict, does it? It adds this one. See, that's the only way how it adds, because this way it does not contradict. Okay? So a lot of people may think this contradicts and this doesn't. Well, guess again. We cannot have the mind of God unless He gives us the intelligence like He does, like He did today. He helps me and He helps you through me, and in what He teaches me, I teach you, and what He teaches each and every one of us, we teach each other. I've learned a lot of things from my brothers and sisters too, as you know, we help each other. Amen. This is page 19. Okay.